Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Manifest Tarot. I'm so happy you're here. I'm happy to be back after a busy week. So welcome, and we are today looking at the universe of you. This is what we're looking at today. We are looking at the universe known as you, your universe. And to do that, I've got 3 decks for 3 piles. The first one here is the After Tarot. This is a tarot deck that is showing what's happening the moment after the Rider-Waite-Smith artwork. So this is just to show you the bottom card of this deck. This is the Moon. So that's this deck. And for pile number 1, you also have this malachite. Sorry, I almost forgot it. A malachite hexagonal point. And then this deck is one of my favorites. It is the Halloween deck, and you know, every card has a black cat on it, so that's one reason it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite decks. And this is the 9 of ghosts. Ghosts in this deck is cups, so this is the 9 of cups, and here of course is the black cat with her cute little tail. And so that's what this deck looks like. And to go with this, this is this red jasper oval. Very matchy-matchy, of course. Have to be matchy-matchy with my crystals. And then this deck is so interesting here. This is the ViceVersa tarot. So I'm going to just show you the front card here. This is the King of Pentacles. But that's the back of the King of Pentacles in the front. And so this is the front of the 2 of Cups. So this is the back and the front. So each card has 2 scenes on it. So it's a very interesting deck. And this crystal is the why am I blanking? Hold on. I'm blanking on the name of this crystal. All right, that's the Unakite heart. So this one, of course, I chose it. You might not know why I chose this, but it's green with a little red in it. And I chose it, of course, to match with the watermelon. So, of course, I always have to have everything match between the crystals and the decks. So here are your 3 piles. Let me know. Take time. I don't know. I guess I'm in kind of a silly mood today. Take your time and let me know. If you want to let me know anything in the comments, of course, let me know. But take your time. Pick whichever crystal deck you want, and I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose this deck. This is the After Tarot. This is the one with a scene that takes place moments after the one in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And also you chose this malachite hexagonal point. So I'm going to put that here. And before we get started with this deck, I'm going to take a few cards from this Tea Leaves deck. Gotta wake up the deck as usual. Here, we'll take these 2. And I just have them split up so that they're easier to handle. So I'll just take 1 or 2 cards from this deck. So we'll get this one. And we also have, I have this Oracle deck, and I'm going to take 1 card from here. that. And so let's take some cards from your deck. You gotta really wake it up. This is the universe of pile number 1. That's what we are reading for today. The universe of pile number 1. What is going on in your universe? Your universe is you. Pile number 1. This is you, your universe. So I think I'm also going to take the bottom card here. The Justice card. Actually, I'm going to put it down here. The Justice card. And then we have these, but I'm going to also take some cards from this tarot deck. We need a few cards for the universe of pile number 1. Well, this one really wanted to come out. Oh gosh. There were a lot of insistent cards in this deck. Wow, you got a lot of cards here. All right, let's see what we have here. I'm first going to look at this card. 25, Protective Nest. What an interesting card. Look at all of this, what's going on here. She's got tassels on her hairdo. I wonder how long she staying stable so that this is interesting. She's remained so motionless protecting this egg that this bird not only had the time to build the nest, but to have its own eggs ready to hatch. So she's been in the same place for a long time. So sometimes a protective nest is good, and sometimes a protective nest can be stagnant. This might be something that we are looking at as your universe might be a little stagnant. Very interesting. All right, let's see what else we have for Oracle. Very interesting. This next Oracle card has Tent, Temporary Situation. Very interesting compared to this one. You might be moving from here to here, but the feeling I'm already getting, which is kind of funny, is that you've been in a stable yet stagnant situation, and now you're moving out of it. Let's see what else we have. Lion, Time to Act. Yes, time to act. The universe of you, pile number 1. It's time to act. You've been thinking about it. You've been cogitating. You've been maybe planning, but you've been just, things have been simmering underneath the surface. Now it's time to act. Success. What a nice card for you to have. And Justice. Wow. So pile number 1, you really have this, like, this is, it might have been like needed for you to retreat like this into your nest, but now it's time to fly free. So what do we have for your tarot cards? This is what's really going to tell us. Yes, so this Hanged Man, this was you, and now it's time to go. Now it's time to do something different. Now it's time to not be just hanging there motionless. It's time to go on to the next stage, whatever that means for you. Wow, then we have the 10 of Wands. Instead of carrying these wands for so long with these last final steps, it's like you've made it. You've made your last final few steps, but you just kind of dropped them, and you aren't even aware of where you are. It's like you've dropped this heavy, 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 heavy burden. You know, I usually don't do this right now, but it seems being called to read as I go with your cards. This is the thing. In this protective nest that you had, and I'm not sure if you can hear this, but there's birds and other critters scurrying around out there and really being having a field day with all of their little scurrying around in the leaves and things like that outside. So anyway, so if you hear little scrabblings, that's what that is. So this is what happened. You were in this protective nest and you were kind of hiding out. You were hiding out. This is you, but this is also you. You weren't protecting someone else. You were protecting yourself. You were protecting your inner heart. You were protecting yourself from the world because you were protecting yourself from being hurt. You were protecting yourself from being hurt. And so you were motionless long enough so that like this bird was able to use you as a tree. You were this hanged man. And you know what's interesting is that you might have thought that you were dropping your burdens, or you were not doing let me think of how best to say this. You were thinking that you needed to do this, and you did, but you were thinking that did not have, that it was keeping you from carrying your burden, that you were resting from carrying your burden, but really you were carrying the heaviest burden. You were just ignoring it. You were ignoring it, and but you were still carrying it, and it was weighing you down. And it was making it impossible for you to move, even if you had wanted to. But now you have just laid down all of your burden. And right now, you've got your eyes closed. You are completely at the mercy of anyone or anything, because you're so unaware right here of where you are. But that's because you're so relieved to have let all of this burden go. This is the burden of your connection to the past. This is your burden of your worry about the future. This is your burden of all of the things that you once thought about yourself and about everyone else. Every one of these wands is another burden. And you have let them all go. Every one of these wands is a burden of self-recrimination, blaming others, worrying about the future, past maybe mistakes or however you think about your past, and also just impatience, doubt, fear. All of those things you've let them go. And you just weren't ready before. So there's no reason that you have to be feeling like anything toward your long period of inactivity. But that also means, pile number one, that you are not going to, because you have learned your lesson. You've learned that this burden was never yours to carry. They just got piled on one by one, starting in childhood, and by the time you grew up, you thought that was normal. You thought it was normal, but now you've just let them all go. Through all of this work you've been doing, you've learned to just let them go. What else do we have? The Wheel of Fortune, yes, you Pile number 1 are ready to spin the wheel and go forward. Pretty clear. This is you spinning the wheel, going forward into your future that has, like just unlimited future. Whatever you want it to be, whatever you're holding in your consciousness is what your future is going to hold for you. The 10 of Cups, wow. Look at that. Well, the spin is bringing you all of this good fortune. The 10 of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. It's just, it's abundance and love. An overabundance of abundance. Everything you've wanted. Wow, the 5 of Wands, and this, how interesting. You know what's interesting about this? The Rider-Waite-Smith deck has all of these 5 characters bashing on each other with these wands, right? But this one is all of them just casually hanging out and talking and smiling. So what's happening here? This means that you, pile number 1, are going to be not reconciling, but totally changing the dynamic with people that you've had a pretty bad dynamic with. These persons here are all of the persons that you saw in a way that did not serve you, and then they saw you in a way that did not serve you. Now, you have changed your outlook about them, and therefore they have changed, and your dynamic has changed. Fundamentally changed. What do we have here? The sun. Yes, the sun has come out, and you are completely and utterly happy. Just sheer happiness and wonderful everything. Everything wonderful. So that's those cards. I think that's it. Yes. So what do we have for this deck? The Fire King. Fire is wands. So this is the King of Wands. Look at his shoes. The King of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Very much a fire. Ooh, the Tower. What is this underneath? Yes, the Tower is right underneath the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, this is so interesting, and so this is exactly what's going on here. The Earth King. Earth, of course, is Pentacles. So you have 2 kings. And then the 10 of Cups. Again, pile number 1. What a foundational, fundamentally just, I don't even know how to say it. This is like a fundamentally transformative reading, and you know what? It's coming at this time, at the time for you that you've already accepted this. This is you have already accepted this, so therefore it's able to come to you. So the thing is here, well, first of all, you have 2 kings, and secondly, you have the King and the Queen of Wands. But I mean, the Sun and this King and Queen of Wands, there's a lot of fire in this, and there's also water. So the energy is here, but you're not carrying the burden anymore. So therefore you have space for all of this energy to flow. This is what happened in the past, pile number one. You had all of this burden. You were holding it toward you, just like you were holding part of yourself, almost kind of hostage, you know, for your safety, for you to grow and blossom, kind of. But now there is no more burden. It's all gone now. All of that suffering, all of that, everything that you were holding on to is done now. And so you can just transform your life into what you want by the power of your intention, by the fire that you have within you. This fire that you have within you, you transform your life. And that's why you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. So what does this mean, this Wheel of Fortune and the Tower? This means that the spinning wheel of fortune is you, pile number one. Wait, let me get these cards are not, this deck is not very coated, so it just keeps on sticking to the, it's sticking to the cloth. So this is you not only dropping your burden of your wands, but fundamentally letting go of all of these faulty edifices you've built out of your faulty information, your old circumstances, your old suppositions. It's all fallen down, which is what you have wanted. But you were not in a position mentally, emotionally, to let it go. You didn't want it, yet you couldn't let it go. Now you finally let it go, and now it's fallen down. That's what this is saying. You finally let go of that burden. You finally stopped having to protect this part of you and stay immobile and motionless. Wow, pile number one. And so this Earth King, this King of Pentacles, you are in such a stable position. You pile number one, are embodying the stability that you always kept looking for in other people and in other places. You kept looking for this stability, this foundational stability everywhere else, but you finally found it within yourself. And you kept looking for happiness everywhere else. But now you know that you hold this power to be content and be happy, and that only when you are content and happy, then does other contentment rich and happiness rich material come to you as well. I'm hoping I make sense. You can only see happiness when you are happy and content. And this doesn't mean you have to be like fake happy all the time. Like, oh, I'm just happy all the time, even though if you aren't. This is not a happy all the time, fake feeling. This is a deep contentment with your life. That the stability that the thing that you most often return to is your home. And for you, this deep, stable happiness is where you most often return to, so therefore that's your home. This temporary situation, it's a blessing to you. And I don't usually use that word, a blessing, but this temporary situation, moving through states to your final destination here, where it's completely stable and just the fire has cleansed everything and now you're completely stable. The temporary situation is you moving through states to your home state where you've always wanted to be. Moving through states is how we get to where we want to be. Not resisting anything is where we get to where we want to be. Not resisting the fall of the tower is how you get to the Ten of Cups squared. Pile number 1, this is like such an awe-inspiring reading. Success, the time to act, is justice, the sun, the 2 Tens of Cups, the 2 Kings, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Everything is telling me the exact same thing, and that is you have successfully burned through the fire of your recreation of yourself. And that's it. That's what you've done. That's you. Pile number 1. This is so wonderful and so beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. This was great and wonderful. I love all of your comments, your likes. Your shares are always appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope you subscribe, and therefore you won't miss any future readings. And thank you. I know I'm going to see you very soon. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 2, welcome. You picked this cute Halloween deck. Halloween deck, so cute. And this red jasper oval. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to put that aside while we pull some oracle cards. I'm going to pull 1 card from this deck. This one. And I'm going to pull a couple tea leaves. We're going to wake up the decks. Whoa. There's these. Let's see. Oh, well, obviously this is exactly what we needed. They flipped right out. All right, so let's see what we have with your Halloween deck. Look at this, jiggling away. You have to jiggle so that the cards know that they have to wake up. There we go. And I'm going to take a few cards from this deck as well. Hold on. There's that. Wow, these came out really quickly, all of these cards. Let's see what we have. 16, Eva. This card is seeming to come out a lot lately. So there's this. And let's see what we have for the tea leaves. We have box. You will receive a gift. Nice. Pile number 1. Pile number 2. Nice. Pile number 2. Let's see. Let's put this here. Fan. Romance, celebration, and party. Wow. Two nice cards here. They want to be together, I think. There's that. Ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. Wow, pile number 2. We got some good action going on in this reading already. Things are blossoming. And then we have a month of the year, November. So in the northern hemisphere, that's pretty much the end of fall, beginning of winter, depending on where you live. And near the end of the year. It's 11th month. It's the 11th month. Of course, in the southern hemisphere, it's almost the middle of the summer. So let's see what's going on. The Knight of Imps. The Imps are the wands. So this is the Knight of Wands. You see, this is the fastest knight in the deck. You see how fast he's going. His horse's mane looks like flames too. We have that. Let's look. Ooh, the Six of Imps. This is the Six of Wands. Victorious. The victorious return. The return of the victorious party. To many accolades. The Nine of Cups. A wish fulfillment card. Everybody's so happy, even the moon is smiling. Look how content this cat is. Oh, this was the cup. This was the card that was on the bottom. Pretty funny. It came to us. The Four of Bats. That's the Four of Swords. Very rest. It's a time of rest. I wonder what's going on. I'm still not getting a clear picture. The King of Swords. Look how impressed this cat is with the king. Do you see this death's head moth? So let's see, there's the moth with the skeleton, there's one bat, there's the king, there's another bat, 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 and then a cat. The cat, of course, has to be involved. That's it. So that's it for your main deck. Let's see what we have here. The Nine of Air. That air is the sword. So this is the Nine of Swords. The Three of Air. That's the Three of Swords. I wonder what's going on. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune was also in pile number 1. The Eight of Fire. The fire is wands. What is, I'm so curious. The Empress. Wow, very interesting. Look at her foot on the moon. Very interesting. What is going on with these cards? Let me think. I need a second here because it's not. It's not as clear. It's still, the message here still hasn't come exactly clear to me yet. Sorry, I'm straightening out the cards too much. So this Nine of Swords and Three of Swords are really interesting because there's no sense of what brought it. It's like they're kind of disconnected, if you understand what I mean. They're kind of disconnected from everything. Because look at your oracle cards. You will receive a gift, romance, celebration, and party. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. There's also the Six of Wands, party, celebration, like being lauded for your victory. The King of Swords, this intellect and this success, this Empress with their fecundity and stable, fecundity. and the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Very fast movement. And then we have this Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. But then we have the Nine of Swords, which is fears, like being immobilized by your fears. And this Three of Swords, which is, it's not even, to me, the Three of Swords is not even being hurt. It's having the memory of that hurt still stabbing your heart. And you have this November card, which is the end of the year, like a death of the year, you know, like we're getting close to the death of 1 year. And we also have the Four of Swords, which is like having to withdraw from the world. And it's not like it's bad. It's not like it's, what am I trying to say? It's not like it is a going off in defeat necessarily, but it is definitely having to take this time to rest and restore. Having to, like being, even if it's enjoyable, you had to do it. As I'm speaking with this, if you want to watch the pile number 1, there's quite a few parallels I'm seeing between this and pile number 1. So I'm not really seeing why we have especially these two cards, the November card and the Four of Swords, but I don't think I'm meant to, because they seem a little bit disconnected. Not a little bit, they seem very disconnected from what else is going on here. And so I think they need to remain that disconnected. There's some disconnectedness that is needed. There's this disconnectedness which is healthy. This disconnectedness of this pain, this suffering that you've been feeling for a long time is kind of floating away, kind of receding as you're in this Four of Swords energy of kind of resting and restoring. Because when you come out of it, you're going to come out of it with this surge of success. This is really kind of parallel to pile number 1 in some weird way. It's just like, it's saying the exact same thing as pile number 1. Isn't that weird? This pain that you've felt in the past, this being paralyzed by fears, this needing to rest, this needing to restore, this death of the present, this death of one to start another, is you're at the time where it's turning, where the wheel of fortune of your life is spinning and spinning into this beautiful success. And it's no coincidence that the Wheel of Fortune is right under the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. So let me reiterate once again just how much good fortune is coming to you. So again, we have the Eight of Wands, which is, acceleration, affairs being accelerated, like explosive forward motion. The Knight of Wands, I think I already told you, it's the fastest knight in the deck. It's just explosive forward movement, surging forward. And all of your oracle cards, except for this one, are forward or upward movement, positive things. A marriage, either romantic or business. This Eva, she's not she's not watching the garden bloom. She is the garden blooming. She is transforming and she is blossoming, and there's nothing, no one can stop it. She's, talk about embodying the state. She is this, she is in the state of blossoming, of fulfilling herself. She doesn't need anyone or anything else. She's just in the garden blossoming away. And that's you, pile number 2. And then you will receive a gift. It's not wait for a gift, watch for a gift, maybe the gift will. No, it's like you will receive the gift. Romance, party, celebration, and party. Another, just like that's it. Gift, romance, celebration, party, marriage, right? Explosive forward movement, being lauded for all of your successes. And the thing about this is these are right over this. So this being, it's so funny, this is being paralyzed by your fears right underneath the Knight of Wands, which is the fastest knight in the deck. From being paralyzed by your fears to explosive forward movement. The Three of Swords is heartache, being completely overwhelmed by this pain from the past, is right underneath being publicly lauded for your accomplishments, being publicly celebrated. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Cups. The wheel is of your life is turning, you're changing states, and you're ending up in this wish fulfillment. And again, so funny, we have this rest, this necessary rest and recuperation right over the Eight of Wands, which is explosive forward movement. And then at the end, we have this King of Swords and the Empress. We have 2 powerful cards, which are, let's look at these one more time together. It's interesting to see them together, isn't it? They're very much the same colors, aren't they? They go very well together, even though they're from different decks. So we have the King of Swords, this great intellect and clarity of thinking, clarity of thought, clarity of intention and purpose in the King of Bats, aka Swords. The Empress, fecundity, growth, wealth of, like, everything being blooming and harvesting, and everything being abundant, very I would say intentional in what is being created. And it's also very fertile, motherhood or being a parent, getting, very much in the vein of the marriage will take place, either romantic or business. It's a very fertile. So this could be romantic, love, partnership, or it could be, as this one says, or it could be a business partnership, very fertile business partnership. Whatever it is, it's great for you. And this is really another one of those readings that's like pile number 1. So if you didn't see pile number 1, it's got a lot of the same messages, but it's a little bit different. But pretty, extremely similar. So if you haven't watched pile number 1, I would very much suggest you do. And this is beautiful, wonderful news for you, pile number 2. It's so positive. because you have moved past this and even this time to a time of all good news. This is all good news, and it's unstoppable. There's like nothing anyone can do to stop it except for you putting your attention away from what you want. Remember, this is the universe of pile number 2, and this universe, that's the universe of you, can only be stopped, diverted by you. So this is what you've wanted, and then the only person who can stop it is you if you take your attention away from what you want. So on that note, just keep your attention. Do what you've been doing. Do what you have been doing, pile number 2, because it's working. And there's nothing that's going to stop you except you. The only person, entity, thing, powerful enough to stop you, the only one is you. Just keep that in mind. The only one that's powerful enough to stop you is you yourself. And you're not going to do that. So thank you, pile number 2. This was such another beautiful, powerful reading. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments, your shares, and subscribing to the channel helps me so much, and it helps other people to find this channel. That would be great if you subscribed, if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. And I know I'm going to see you very soon. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose this deck, the ViceVersa Tarot, and you chose this Unakite heart. So I'm going to put this here to watch over us, and I'm going to put this aside for now while we pull a few oracle cards. So this deck, I'm going to pull one card from this deck. And pull some of these tea leaves. Well, I think it's this one wants to come out. There's that. And then oh wow, you're getting 5 tea leaves. All right, and then let's take some cards. All right, so we need some messages for pile number 3's universe. We need the universe of pile number 3 to be elucidated for us. All right, I see all of these cards. Looks like this one. And then this one, gotta make sure it goes out. And then I'm going to take a few cards from this deck. Okay, we need a couple more messages for pile number 3's universe. All right. Look at all these cards. Firstly, we are going to look at this. No way, this is the same card that was on pile number 1. Protective Nest. I wonder what, it had a very specific meaning for pile number 1. If you have an interest, even just from this card, because this card was so integral to pile number 1's message, that if you have any interest in seeing pile number 1, I would suggest you look at pile number 1 as well. Pile number 1 was a very powerful reading. All right, I wonder what else we're gonna get. Inkpot, problems to be resolved, maybe with some sort of contract. Very interesting. Horseshoe, good luck, wow. Right after the problems to be resolved, so obviously, Horseshoe, you're gonna have some good luck. Good luck with these problems being resolved. chimes, peace and harmony. Wow, pile number 3. What else do we have? Career. Something's, look, there's another ink pot here. This needs to be down here with the ink pot. Maybe some sort of issue with your career is being resolved. Or maybe something about your career is solving a problem in your life, if you know what I mean. May, that's this month. The month that I'm doing the reading is May. So this seems very immediate. Like an immediate, well, I'm not sure if it's a change for you, but it's an immediate situation. It's an immediate state of being right here. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is the front, and this is the back. So obviously this is this beautiful garden, and then this is the villa that the garden is attached to, maybe. Nice fashion sense. Everybody in this deck has a very nice fashion sense. I like his doublet. All right. I'm not going to stare at the fashions all day. All right, so we have the 5 of Cups. Here's the front of the 5 of Cups with the scorpion coming out of the cup. Ooh, creepy. Creepy. Then we have the back. And he can't see it, but there's a rose growing back there in the sand. We know roses don't grow like that. They grow on a bush. But we're going to suspend our disbelief, pile number 3. That's funny. What else do we have? Ooh, we have the Fool. There's a crown and a cup. Maybe he's been drinking. Maybe that's why he's going to walk off the ledge. And then the dog. The dog is watching the shooting star, and also the person is. So now we know why the Fool is walking off the cliff, because he's looking at the shooting star. He's being distracted. I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder what's going to happen next. All right, so let's see. Ooh, we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, so pile number 3. Pile number 1 had 2 10 of Cups. 2 10s of Cups. Pile number 2 had a 9 of Cups. So it seems like all 3 of the readings are connected, but really, if you have any interest, especially in pile number 1, I suggest you watch it, because the 10 of Cups in pile number 1 and this protective nest in pile number 1 were very important. So this is the front of the 10 of Cups, and this is the back. Very beautiful card. Oh yeah, and then this is the 2 of Cups, the front and the back. And this is the romantic love card, which is funny because you have the romantic love card and you have the career ink pot, you know. you have the career stuff and you have the romance stuff. All right, so let's see what we have with this deck. The 9 of Wands. The fire is Wands. Let us see. Ooh, the Ace of Air, which is the Swords. So you have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. And the Fool. Ooh, the High Priestess. That's a pretty card. We have the 8 of Swords. Well, that was a little unexpected. The Hermit. What a pretty card. these last two cards were kind of unexpected. I wonder. There's so much new energy with the Ace of Pentacles, the Fool, the Ace of Swords, and then we have this Eight of Swords and the Hermit. The Eight of Swords means someone just being immobilized through their own sense of empowerment, of powerlessness. Being immobilized by your own sense of powerlessness is so tricky, pile number 3, because a lot of times, and it's so funny because it's really the way it's saying this protective nest is ending up being the exact same meaning as there was for it in the pile number 1. So all 3 of these cards are telling me what this protective nest and this Eight of Swords and this Hermit mean. Okay, so basically, when you feel, pile number 3, that you are powerless, it's not the situation, it's not the circumstance that is making you feel powerless, even though it might seem 100% that it is because of the circumstances that you feel powerless. It is actually only your mindset that makes you powerless. It's so crazy because when you are feeling powerless, everything seems to be holding you back and keeping you powerless. But once you realize you were never powerless, it's become so clear that you had power all along. But it's difficult to see that sometimes, a lot of times, right? So this is why I was confused. That's so funny that these 2 cards came out last, because they really make this card have the exact same meaning as what was in pile number 1. But this was the first card, and these 2 are the final cards. So basically, pile number 3, think about how long she has to have stood there for this bird to not only build a nest, but to have these little baby bird eggs, and for them to be just about ready to hatch. And it's because she's been standing there protecting this egg. But this egg is not an offspring, or not the future generation of bird women. This egg is part of her. And she's been feeling like she's been protecting it this whole time. But by protecting it and keeping it from ever having any danger of cracking, she's kept herself stuck, kept herself feeling completely powerless, kept herself in hermit mode. So what's happened here is that you, pile number 3, you've been hurt in the past. The past is not real anymore. The past, you can never go back to the past. You can't spend time in the past. You can't interact with the past. There's nothing you can do. The past is gone. There's nothing there. There's no past, right? Since you were hurt in the past, and this is your your innermost self that you want to keep protected, you've been keeping it protected and staying completely immobile. You've been immobilized. You've been completely immobilized as life goes whizzing past you. You've been standing there stoically, but not stoically. You've been standing there completely thinking that you're stoic, but you've actually been scared and immobile. And you've been protecting this little egg thinking that you're doing the right thing, and you probably were, because you needed to rest and restore and get your confidence back, right? But now it is time to move and to know, to just like have that knowing and have that confidence and that trust that the egg is going to be fine, whether you're moving or whether you're completely still. The egg is fine. You're fine. You can't be hurt. You are your own operant power, pile number 3. So it's exactly the same as pile number 1. So very interesting. What else do we have? We have new beginning after new beginning after new beginning. And this looking, I forgot to talk about this because I was so excited about these. This looking at the things that are fallen, things that are wrong, is never going to manifest what you want. Only looking at what is right, what you love, can manifest what you want. All right, let me tell you a little thing here. You've got this new beginning energy. New beginning energy, new beginning energy, new beginning energy. Spark of like coming, problems to be resolved kind of thing. Like, you know, but not in a problems to be resolved as in the problems. It's just that, you know, I don't like the word problems because it's like, it's more, you're in a state of action and you're in a state of forward movement, new beginning, looking forward. And this is your reminder that you can never move forward if you're looking at what you've lost or looking what didn't work out. If you have made a decision about what you want, you don't have to keep staring at it your entire time, because that's what you were doing in this time of you being hermit mode, kind of immobilized. You thought you were moving forward, but you were not. Pile number 3. You were still staring. You know what she's staring at? She's staring at the same thing that he's staring at, except that she's just doing it in better clothes. She's doing it thinking that she's doing it thinking that she's manifesting what she wants, but she's still staring at what she lost, at what she quote unquote lost. So what do you have to do? Look only at what you do want, and or look at what makes you happy. Only do the things that make you happy, pile number 3. And what happens when you only look at what makes you happy? Everything comes together. You have so much good fortune in this. Everything's coming together very soon. I mean, we're in the month of May as I'm doing this reading, and that's the month that you have. This peace and harmony, career, good luck. I don't want to say problems to be resolved, as I said, like kind of things to do. Action. But it's not like action for the sake of like, it's not just action for the sake of action. You want to take action. It's making you happy. It's making you feel powerful to take action. You know, in the manifesting community, a lot of times people are like, you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to do anything. But it doesn't mean you can just, or that you have to just sit in your room and think about what you want. Try not to stare at the cups that are you know, knocked over, and only stare at the cups that are full. It's kind of hard to sit in your room alone all the time and concentrate on what's good. You might be just staring at what you don't want, because you're feeling immobile, you're feeling powerless. So all of this, I'm going to talk about the few things I haven't talked about here. We have this Nine of Wands. This has been a lot of, sorry, I'm going to cough. Sorry, I had to cough. So this Nine of Wands is telling me that you know exactly which path you have to take, and you just walk that path. Don't doubt yourself. Don't, just put your blinders on, kind of. Kind of put your blinders on. Don't look at anything that you don't want to see. Put your blinders on so much that you can't even see the cups that are knocked over. Just turn away from them. Turn away from them and see the rose and the two cups that are still full, as in the things you want, and then these will disappear. That's just the way it is. Pile number 3. So keep on your path that you have chosen and don't deviate. And it's not as if, number one, that you have to not do anything for things to show up. Number two, it's not as if your action, you want to take action. It's like you want to think, you want to make things happen in your 3D world. You want that now, after so much of not doing anything, of being immobile. You want to take action, you want to interact with the world, and that's great, that's fine. You do whatever you want in the 3D world. The thing is, as you create more love and good feeling and wonderful things in your life, more wonderful things, more good feelings, more wonderful everything comes into your life. You are I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? You are inviting in who you are. So if you're in these beautiful clothes, still staring at what you don't want, you're still never going to get what you do want. So what do we have here? We have the High Priestess. She is manifesting what she wants using her entire, like her feelings and her both sides of her brain, basically, like her intellect and her feelings, her emotions and her thoughts. She's everything is coming together magically. Not magically, as in, like, you know, like serendipitously. Everything's coming together serendipitously for her to manifest exactly what she wants, because she has confidence in herself. And that's really what is being said here with this Nine of Wands. You've picked your path, you've picked what you want, you've picked your poison, pile number 3. Trust yourself, trust what you want, trust that this sense of action that you want, that you feel, the sense of I want to be doing things, that I want to change what I'm doing in the 3D, is positive. Because you have gone past the I, pile number 3, want to chase after what I want, what I'm manifesting desperately. You've gone past the desperation into, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do what I'm wanting to do, and it all is going to work out, and I know it. So that's why we have this 10 of Cups and we have this 2 of Cups. We have this romantic love, and we have this wonderful wish fulfillment card. The wish fulfillment card of love and abundance. there's a lot of action, newness, freshness springing up in your reading, and it is taking the place of the inaction, the immobilization, the hiding away, the protecting, the protecting to the detriment, like the fake protection of fear. The only way, pile number 3, to truly protect your heart is to be confident that it's never going to be broken. The only way to be successful is to be confident that you're never going to be unsuccessful. And that's where you are right now, and that's why you have such an urgency, like a positive urgency, to go out in the world and affect your change. You're like surging forward. All 3 piles are saying a lot of the same thing. Pile number 3. Very, very, very interesting. You have a lot of success, a lot of love, a lot of luck, peace, and harmony. I mean, this is like, I have to say, who doesn't want peace and harmony, may I ask? Pile number 3. What a beautiful card to have. This is kind of like mirroring this 10 of Cups. I hope that you will come back and tell me what the heck is happening in your life with this, because it may be something that you want to do, that you change you want to affect in your life. What is it that you are being so called and compelled to do, because there's something huge that you're like, yes, I'm just going to go for it. And a lot of success and prosperity and love is coming to you because you are confident that this is your path that you're going to take. Wow, pile number 3. What? Just 3 amazing readings. All 3 readings have been so amazing and so uplifting. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. And thank you for all the likes, the shares, and the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you subscribe. It helps everybody to find the channel, and it helps my channel. And if you have subscribed, and I haven't said that, so I'm going to make it a point to say this in the future too. If you have subscribed, thank you. And I know I'm going to see you very soon. Bye for now.